Alright, in this video we're going to show you how to set up your new Generation 2 ColorView camera. The model number that we're talking about today is the DS2CD2347G2-LU. It doesn't need the U, that's just the one with the microphone built in. Alright, so we're looking now at the firmware version. Obviously I'm assuming that you know how to log into your camera, which is the only step I haven't showed you here. It's just, you know, the network address that you have the camera set to on your network. If you are unsure what that is, you can download a tool called the SADP tool. We have a video on that on the channel, so search that up if you don't know about that particular tool, and that'll help you to find all your Hikvision cameras on the network. Alright, so this is the camera. Now, out of the box, at the time of filming this, you are not getting this particular firmware. This is the model firmware that you need, or this is the version of the firmware that you need in order to do the white light alarm triggers, etc. that we show you on the video. So on our website is a link to this. Just make sure that you have got a genuine Australian purchased ColorView camera. If you've got one of ours from any of our sources, it will be genuine and you won't have any issues. If you are international, just be aware that there are certain regional settings that may affect which version you can load into your camera. Okay, so I am addressing the Australian audience at the moment. You may have no issues whatsoever internationally, but I'm just giving you that warning. Okay, so the first thing that we need to do is we need to go into our image settings, and the white light settings are actually found in the day-night switch. Now once you've upgraded the firmware, this all becomes available. The settings that we need, I've got this set to auto, so it's automatically detecting the day and night time. You can also set this to be a scheduled switch, so you know at a set time it goes on and off. Basically what we're looking for is the nighttime settings. During the day that white light isn't going to come on or off, okay? It's only going to apply in nighttime mode. So basically the settings that we're adjusting are for that nighttime period. So the settings that you want to have the smart supplement light off, okay? The supplement light mode set to supplement white light. You can have that set off. And the brightness control, we set this to manual, okay? By setting this to manual, you've now got the choice, like I showed in the video, to have that white light on constantly at night time or only when it is triggered by an alarm event. Okay, if you want it on constantly, I suggest no more than 10 is the default setting that I recommend. If you need more light, obviously ramp that up. If you don't want that light to come on at all, go into your white light here and set that down to 0. You can see in this new model it automatically saves. There is no save button as such. It just does it when you make a change, it saves it. Okay, so that's setting up those white light parameters. I'm just going to turn this back to auto, and that's when the light drops down to a certain level, it switches itself into that night mode setting. Alright, to actually trigger the events, to trigger that white light, we need to go into our event settings. Now, as I mentioned in the video, I haven't set up any smart events on this. We've still got line crossing, intrusion, etc. They're all still there for you. But as I said, we keep it super simple. I've set this white light up. You can actually set a schedule for each of those events. Okay, now in my case, I didn't really need to do this because it's only going to happen at night time. But just as a backup, I just thought I don't want any white light. You know, if it's a real gloomy day, I don't want any white light during the day. I only wanted it to occur at night time. So I've set it up in this way. The blue section indicates night mode. Okay, so you are able to click in here and select a little section here. Okay, you can do that, and then if you don't like that section, you can get rid of it again. That's the white light there. This is the duration for how long that white light stays on when the event actually occurs. And the event that we're playing with here is the motion detection event. You might remember this from the video where I set up the specific area that I wanted to detect motion. I filtered out the road, for example, here. So, you know, that's quite easy to do. If we clear this area here, okay, we can click on draw area, and now we're able to basically put dots where we want the parameter of the motion detection to be. Okay, so do that. When I get my last one there, it's still going to be looking for another dot, but when you're happy with it, if you right click, it sets that as the area. Okay, so that's how you do that. And then as far as the detection target, this is where you determine whether you want human or vehicle. Now please be sure to check those boxes, because without that, that white light will come on for any motion that it detects. As smart as the camera is, without that target detection, this is going to set off the white light and obviously notifications and anything else that you've set to it. So on this particular screen, you do have to hit the save button. It isn't an automatic, and you can see it's come up with that. Just hit X if that message there comes up. So in our case, we are just setting up basic motion detection with target classification, and then as far as a linkage method, I want to get a notification on my smartphone, so that's with the HikeConnect app, and I also want it to trigger the white light. So that is all that is required to get it set up in the way that I showed you on the video. Okay, so we hit save on that. You're good to go. Now, of course, you can go in and set up all your smart events. I just don't think that it's necessary given how powerful that AccuSense technology is now in that Generation 2 ColorView. All right, hopefully that helps you out. Unfortunately, you still do need to do this configuration on the camera. Future updates may enable you to do that on the NVR, like we've seen with the AccuSense. We can do some of those features now on the NVR, but as it stands with the Gen 2, you need to do it on the camera. Alright, in the video we also talked about the exposure settings. So to access that menu, you just simply go down to Image, and here we find the exposure settings. Now default, out of the box, you're going to see it'll come like that. It's got this manual drop down, but there is no other option. It's literally just that one option on the ColorView. So to change the exposure time so you don't get that lens flare when the white light trigger comes on, I just changed mine to 1/25 of a second. I wouldn't advise going any more than that unless you've got a lot of ambient light, or you're going to be leaving the white light on at all times, and that won't matter as much.